So in quick short, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to get funding. I have an idea. I want to do something great for society, for business, or for myself. What do I do? How do I come to you? And how long does it take for you to respond? What is the interest that you put in the money that you fund me and all that stuff?
So I'll contextualize it to the Innovation Hub and the work that we do here. Once you've established your idea, you know what you want to do with it, you've identified what your potential market is, you've identified what the potential in that market is in terms of actually transacting and making money out of it is. You approach us, and then we would consider you to join part of our incubation program, Maxim. And what that means is you would summarize what your idea is and what you see the potential to be within that idea. A panel of evaluators would sit down and say, okay, this is where the guy is. We establish in the business cycle where you are in terms of putting your idea into an actual business, and then would see if it fits our mandate as a business, would be able to assist, because there's no point at the end of the day just taking every business and we actually don't have the capacity or resources to assist them. So that decision gets made, you get incubated, and we trust.
How long does it take?
That process.
From me to start to submit to making a decision.
So we have pitching sessions once every month, where guys come from all corners of life and pitch their ideas to us. As you can imagine, it's many of them. So we go through a screening criteria, and once that's positive, you come and pitch to us, and we make a decision. The decision is normally made right there and there, because it's
on the spot.
Yeah,
just as you pitch.
Yeah, and we'll communicate.
How long
it
is
after.
the pitch? 3 minutes?
We normally allocate about 20 minutes for a pitch.
Okay.
So
that's
the guys,
a bit long, right?
Yeah, because this is we're not saying we're giving you funding. We're just saying, is this a business would want to assist to actually at the end of the day commercialize whatever idea that it is that they have.
The important thing is go to our website. We've got an application form where it also spells out the criteria for our funding, the funding criteria. And a couple of elements that you need to look at. One, key thing, market. Demonstrate that there's a market for your product. Two, if your technology has been patent protected, you've got a better advantage and chances of succeeding are better. Third, you need to show who your team is. The more technically savvy the team, the better. But you also need very, strong kind of mix of entrepreneurial mix of members of the team. And then the last element really is to show that you have your technology has reached a proof of concept stage. So those are the key things that you need to demonstrate in your application. Unfortunately, it's a fairly detailed application form because we tend to extract as much information as we can. When you submit the application, we should be able to get back to you within a period of 2 weeks to give you the status of what your application is, not in terms of the approval, but in terms of the basic information and initial assessment. If there's any follow-up questions or further information that would require, we normally would give a period of about 2 weeks for you to respond. After that, your application gets submitted to an investment assessment committee. Normally that happens within 6 weeks after your application has initially been submitted. The investment assessment committee will look at it. If they feel it's something that should go for funding, they would indicate that and they would send you a letter confirming that your application is going into due diligence. It means it's promising that there's something interesting in that. Due diligence process is normally about 6 weeks. Our timelines are always influenced by your ability as an entrepreneur to respond to some of our queries very quickly and providing us all of the information that we may require during that phase. If we are satisfied, one, that there's technology development, two, that there is a market, three, that the team is competent, is able to take the technology to the market, chances of you securing funding are always greater.
This is a young man somewhere, who's got an idea. What would you advise them to do?
It's a great question, I suppose there are multiple hats that I could put on. Maybe the most value I can add is if I put the hat on of a financier like ourselves, a venture capital, desperately looking to fund entrepreneurs. I suppose the first question that I'd ask that individuals have you thought through the idea very carefully? And I'll go into more detail. So firstly the market. Is the market attractive? And an attractive market in my mind would be one that's large or growing, and hopefully both, large and growing. Second question maybe is the industry. So how does the rivalry play out in the industry? Is it an attractive industry? Are the margins that's possible to be made for an entrepreneur in that industry sufficient to actually attract an investor if he wants to attract an investor, or if the business is just for himself? Will he actually make sufficient money in that with that business model to gear his business, going forward? An example in my mind is the movie industry in South Africa. It's a large market, probably a growing market, but because of the price cutting that has been taking place between the two competitors, it's such an unattractive industry. And as an investor, we will never really back a company that goes into the movie industry just to provide another offering. And the same advice would go to an entrepreneur to say, have you carefully thought through whether the rivalry in that industry is actually favoring you or working against you? Then I suppose the comments have been raised tonight also regarding the team. It seems that there are stats out there that indicate that the likelihood of success in a venture, if you're part of a team, is substantially higher than if you go on it at your own. So perhaps entrepreneurs should carefully think through when and who the right partners are that they should bring on board as fellow team members actually driving that venture. Then I suppose lastly, a lot of businesses make it or are made or broken in terms of their financial forecasts and management of those forecasts. So are you in the detail regarding the actual costs that will come? Are you realistic about what your cost forecast would be, the margins that you can really achieve? And if you are realistic about it, even if you don't attract the likes of an entrepreneur like ourselves, the likelihood of success would be so much higher. If you are interested in talking to an investor like us, you would earn a lot of respect if we can believe what you've put on the table and you can actually substantiate all the claims you make. That would be my advice.
That's a mouthful, but thank you very much. And again, the talk was quite interesting, and it's good to see the interest amongst young people, and well done, and keep it up, guys. I think we're looking forward to see a lot of young people. As we post this, I'm sure you'll see a lot of young people giving you a call and wanting to talk to you guys.
No, thank you, and look forward to those calls.
The basic issue is, what would you tell a young guy who has a great idea and who doesn't know where to go and what to do and how to start a business, where to get some funding and how to do this? I mean, what would be the basic advice to him or her who is living somewhere in Kimberley or somewhere in Bloemfontein and he says, I want to start a business. How do I do it? What do I do? And how can I become this great guy who can become the most successful guy in the country?
Okay, sure. That's a nice question.
Yeah. No, you don't need to put it. You can just bring it close to you.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
So look, I'm obviously speaking from an IDC point of view, and the experience we've got on the IDC. IDC is lucky in the sense that we've got a geographical footprint across the country, as well as an African story in Central Africa. And we've got a front door. So the front door is Senton or Grayston Drive.
Yeah.
We've got offices in all the major cities in the country. And then we've got a very comprehensive website and a call center. So if you had an entrepreneur who didn't know where to start and they phoned us or walked through the front door and said, look, this is my business prospect or opportunity and I'd like guidance on how to actually get going. We've got consultants and business account managers and professionals who it's their job, it's our job to guide that entrepreneur through the process in order to get the business going. Having said that, IDC focuses on very big projects. So we've got the ex-Kula, that's part of SIFA, Small Enterprise Finance Agency, and that subsidiary's function is similar. So I think no entrepreneur should be lost. They walk through the front door and ask the consultant, and our professional would appoint another consultant if they need a business plan developed. There is some financial support if they need help in developing the business plan. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, no, that's good. So, I mean, have you had some success stories that you can share in the tech environment, in the mobile, in the tech environment that you might share, which maybe is possible to share and say, these are examples of guys, so that young guys there can say, I can do it. I can go to IDC. Let me do this. You know, we want to encourage young people to be able to develop products and try and be innovative and not wait and sit and say, I'm going to look for a job when they finish university or having studied engineering or studied something. We want them to come out and say, I need to find where can I do things. So this platform is to make them understand what is happening out there.
Sure. So Andile, I think from our experience with the 35 investments that we made, the interesting part is that all those entrepreneurs are totally committed, totally invested in their business, and they've got stamina to fail or succeed. And that's why we're still committed with most of our partners. But last week I attended the Youth Start conference in Cape Town, and there they had entrepreneurs in the IT sector, which I'm sure you must have seen.
Yes.
And what impressed me there is you had entrepreneurs that are 1 year old doing 12 million rand revenue and exporting to the world. And that impressed me and convinced me that any entrepreneur with the energy and drive can globalize very quickly. There was one entrepreneur from Neisner, who's got a 12 million rand revenue. It's not his own technology, and he's exporting globally.
Yeah, great. No, thank you very much. We sincerely appreciate what you guys are doing, and we'll encourage young people to come and knock in your doors.
Thank you very much.
What are you busy with? What can you tell young guys to do out there? Are you looking for a polo and a nice money?
Keep it Italian. Anyway, I can't really go into exactly what we've done because that's going to be out in the next month or two.
Okay.
So your question once again, like I said, we just own a company called Swaz Innovations.
Mm-hmm.
And the word Swaz is something that's so cool you can't describe it. Okay, and then combine it with innovations, you've got this company that's just crazy that looks like this, like right here.
Yeah.
So basically the idea is that we've seen that there's, in an emerging market like Africa, for instance, there's a lot of problems, right? And young people have more of an affinity to see big problems, and as a result have ideas for the big solutions, right?
Yeah.
And we are able to take those big risks. That's what the company is basically, the fundamentals of the company, right? So what we strive to do, or what we're going to do right now, is we're going to basically be the company that solves the really big problems that society faces right now that they don't know what to do with. And in Africa, it's even better because we've got more problems in that sense. But we've got those young minds that are able to be crazy enough to come up with those solutions. And that's what Swaz Innovations is about.
So when are you launching?
In the next, it's March now, no?
Yeah.
We're under clinical trials right now. It's a beverage that's coming. It's a beverage. So in the next month or two, it's coming out.
Great.
That's the first product.
So it's going to beat, Red Bull and all those stuff.
It's changing the world.
Yeah, it's changing the world. Looking forward to it. Yeah. I hope I'll be the first one to have a sip at it. Great.
Rather you call.
Yeah. Great.